After that mysterious reveal setting Monster Hunter Wilds in the 2025 horizon and the surprisingly face value campaign of Return to World, I decided to cave in among the other 150,000 players that have returned to it and play 100 hours of Monster Hunter World in 2024 to see how the game holds up, check it out with all the content Capcom has been adding to it over the years, and, in conclusion, tell you if I feel the game is worth it at this point. So, without further ado, let's jump straight in. So first things first, yes, I will be including Iceborne in this video. And yes, my return to this game doesn't come from a fresh start, but rather the endgame content of Iceborne. But before we dive into the Fatalis, the Alatrions, the gargantuan beasts that may end the entire world if we don't deal with them, yeah, push all that to the side for a sec and let's talk about what's new in Monster Hunter World. Well, World brought us a lot of new concepts and interesting mechanics such as Star Wars, which are still incredible to watch, and an absolute spectacle, researching monsters and investigating their tracks, cool little quality of life stuff such as gathering items directly on your chest inventory and not on your personal one, and above of them all, glider shenanigans, which a whole other game would base itself on it a couple of years later. And what can I say, man? All of them are incredible additions that make the biomes feel more alive, thanks to the advancement of technical processing power and the elimination of loading screens between zones. And the glider twist added in Iceborne has just become a staple of how to address a monster fight. You know, make the big beast bonk his head in the wall. It's easy. Nevertheless, there are some things that, while revisiting this game, I feel have aged for the worse. Let me explain myself. Some glider materials have become indistinguishable from one another because now you will be inserting them into the skull of your prey, so they bonk on that damn wall. Some biomes have a disorienting design, and that can be very frustrating for new players that are jumping now into the game, and proof of it is that I have played this game for almost 200 hours, and there is a lot of biomes in which I do not have found the alternative camping sites. Oh, but you can search for them in the expeditions, I'll hear you say. And hey, you're right, you can do that. Except they are perhaps one of the most boring things you could do in Monster Hunter. And that is even more patent today, in a world where we have the Guiding Lands, which is actually a fun expedition. But hey, even though there are some things that feel a little bit outdated, like having to mine one input at a time, instead of the glorious Monster Hunter Rise one input and you have it all system, that doesn't mean that this game is not a goddamn masterpiece. Yeah, I won't wait until the end of the video to say it to you. The leap that this generation took is huge and the art direction is stunning, holding up almost... Wait, when did this game come out? 6 years ago? Man, I'm getting old. Well, anyways, this game is fantastic. All the biomes are distinct and cool in their own way. Yes, even you, Rotten Valley. All the aspects of the hunt are more interconnected than ever. The monsters look so crisp. Oh my god, they look amazing. And all the introduction cutscenes are incredible. There are a lot of icon monsters back in World with new moves, updated designs and cool variants. And the new ones are just excellent. But then again, they didn't add Kurupeko, so I guess the game is a 0 out of 10 after all. I'm sorry guys, but it is what it is. Both the main hub in the game and Celiana in Iceborne are really cool and filled with a lot of side stuff you can do. Menuing around is easier than ever, and even though egg quests are a pain in the ass, they are now at least more tolerable. So how do I recommend you start in Monster Hunter World in 2024, you might say? Well, my dear friend, there are 14 different weapon styles and I've tried them all, so here's the opinion of a seasoned player to help you choose your first weapon wisely. Sword and Shield, it was just meh for me. Iceborne made it kinda cool, and then Rise made it a godlike weapon, so now it feels a little bit worse in World. Longsword, the NPC choice of a weapon and one of the most common ones, but man, it is justified. Easy to learn and master, can deal a lot of damage, and its finishing moves are incredibly cool. Look at these anime-ass sword slashes. Like, come on. The Great Sword. Really big slow hits that give me serotonin. I love this thing. Dual Blades. It's just dance, but breaking the Geneva Convention. The best attack is that one in which you jump and just roll over the monster like a Beyblade. The lance, it's really technical and boring. The gun lance, it's just a lance, but now with a gun. 10 out of 10, love this thing. Light and heavy bow guns, that they are actual guns. Haven't touched them. Yuck. The hammer, weapon goes bonk. I like when weapons go bonk. The switch axe, I love this one back in 3 and love it now. Elemental discharges are awesome. It's so versatile. Charge blade, do not come close this thing. It requires of you a PhD in physics and biomechanics to properly use it. Then again, if you dedicate 5 years of your life to it, then it's really cool. The hunting horn, it makes you play as the bard, but today's song is called Violence. Insect glaive, this is great for people who want to work at the circus. It's hard to make the most out of it, but it is a lot of fun. And finally, the bow. Do you like stamina management? Well, if your answer is yes, then this is your thing. It has 2 really cool attacks. The Dragon Slayer Doom Apocalyptic Arrow that goes BOOM! And the glider attack where you do a fucking backflip and then shoot at the monster. Bye, Rathian! Well, with all that knowledge in your pocket, select one of them and go right into the quests. Slaying the little lizard guy, the funny electric squirrel, the whatever is this thing, and then go for the fire-breathing dinosaur, baby. It can really overwhelm you in the beginning, but with each fight you will improve at evading the attacks of the monsters. You'll interiorize their patterns and when you can make your sick-ass combos, and slowly but surely each fight will be more efficient and cooler than the last one, until you have ended an entire species. But now you have the best drip in town, and man, that loop, that marvelous gameplay loop is what makes me come back. The quest for proficiency at the hunt, the knowledge you gain of what monsters do, their weak points, the biomes in which you fight them. Oh boy, just feels that dopamine drop, and once it does that, you are hooked. Because you need better weapons to fight the monsters, but you also need nice armors, nice charms. Hey, the mantles are useful, and wait now, I want to try out a different type of weapon, so better forge a cool ass bow, and this game just keeps putting out more and more and more and more, and it's beautiful to see. And hey, do you know what is beautiful to see as well? The favor of the gods. And by gods, I mean the YouTube algorithm we all YouTubers pray to. So hey, if you can help me to worship it by subscribing, commenting your thoughts on Monster Hunter World, or liking the video, I would appreciate it very much. I always respond, so hey, leave a nice comment below. Well, back to hunting. I feel like the good quality content never ends, and that the skill ceiling of this game it just doesn't exist. You have conquered the low rank monsters, jump to high rank. Nergigante, who by the way is fucking awesome, is now your bitch. Well, go after the Elden Dragons. You are done with those as well? Jump to Iceborne and the Master rank. That is not enough? How about going on cool dynamic expeditions in the Guiding Lands? You will find new monsters there. And believe me, all of that is disregarding the season events, the special crossovers with Resident Evil, Final Fantasy, or The Witcher, and the special quests involving Kulftaroth, Safi Jiba, and Zora Magmaros, who is really boring, but that is a whole other theme. I love Jen Morgan, please come back. That was the GOAT fight for me, okay? Yeah, I'm a tree nostalgia enjoyer. Sue me, I don't care. The endgame of World is just full of possibilities, and there is a lot of stuff to do. Hell, I've played mostly endgame stuff on these 100 hours, and I feel like I've barely scratched the surface. I've played a lot during these last sessions, and I discovered 2 new monsters that I had never seen before. And I know there is another one, but I haven't gotten yet the quest to go after him. Also, it is important to note that the game has a really good reward system for seasoned players that want to help out the newcomers who are struggling with certain quests. And this SOS Flare is perhaps one of the greatest things to happen to Monster Hunter. Often I've been wondering what to do just to spend 1 hour jumping in SOS calls of low rank hunters and helping them out. And that system is even better, taking into account that Monster Hunter general culture among the veteran players is generally centered around being friendly, supportive, helping the newcomers, and good pals with people who are beginning their journey. Well, that is except if you discuss about builds and what is more efficient. then everyone brings out knives to these online discussions, so my advice is to not go near them. Oh, and talking about builds, there is a whole other side to this game, a rabbit hole of sorts, in which you can easily fall into, which is trying to make the best set for each hunt. Setting the best decorations, the best charms, the best armor combinations, and man, the Excel type gameplay in here is crazy. I am not a huge specialist of this part of the game, and overall, I've got 2 or 3 standard builds that I work well with, and hey, you can enjoy the game this way and not sweat for a bit. Except with the late game monsters perhaps, such as Fatalis, or shall I say, Evil himself. This black glow yellow-eyed dragon will traumatize you so bad that facing him in Monster Hunter World gives you a 40% discount on therapy. And if you do not believe me, just watch this. All of that is great and all, and conquering these walls that seem impossible at first feel immensely rewarding. But although I love Monster Hunter World and I think that its success paved the way to the exportation of the rest of the saga to the Western world, there are still 2 big issues that I wanted to address before determining if this game is worth it in 2024 or not. The first one is something that everyone has complained about already: unskippable cutscenes. This is lame and nonsensical. Even though some of them are incredible to watch, being forced to sit through them is a major pain, especially if you have already played this game before and you have decided to restart, for example. Everyone knows that the story of World is a bunch of nonsense, and the characters have nothing going for them. So please, let me skip all of that to fight the cool monsters that are waiting on the other side. Thank you very much. The second issue is something that has hurt the game on the long run, I feel. And that is the separation between low rank, high rank, and master rank. You see, before Iceborne came to show us how cool is Volcana, players like me would reach the top of high rank and try to get cool sets, fight the elder dragons and stuff, and when the expansion finally came with its master rank, it provided basically a second game to enjoy, and it was really refreshing for those who had already made the most out of the high rank monsters. Nowadays, however, you have everything at your disposal since the beginning, so there is not any reason whatsoever to not go through low rank and high rank as fast as possible to get to master rank. And it kind of feels like the real game begins when you reach Iceborne. If you play World with friends, which is an absolute Basil Ghost blast, it can be very frustrating to grind through all the main story with those unskippable cutscenes just to arrive at the master rank. And believe me, you are going to feel like a dead weight for a long time if your friends are seasoned players. My recommendation? Either start playing solo, which is a lot of fun already, or play with a friend who is willing to start another character or someone who hasn't played either. I think that is going to make the experience a lot better. So, with that taken into consideration, is Monster Hunter World worth it, even now, in 2024? Well, after playing hundreds of hours, I can assure you, yes, absolutely. It is a masterpiece and arguably one of the best games the saga has to offer. And now that it regularly goes on sale to some ridiculous prices, well, you definitely need to check this out. And thanks to the strangely powerful Return to World campaign, the online is more alive than ever. So join the hunt, come get the new coolest drip, and let's all enjoy this marvel of a game throughout 2024 until Monster Hunter Wilds releases. Will that one be worth it? I honestly hope it is.